Welcome back, and I'm so happy that we can get to this recap. Curt, go on and break them off a little bit and let them know what it is.
Y'all know how we do, man, on Victory Monday. Man, it feels good. But before we get into the offensive, defensive breakdowns by Coach Mike and LL, let's get at these team stats right quick. First up is first downs. Both teams had 19. Passing first downs, the Lions had 10. The Packers had 11. Rushing first downs, the Lions had 5, and the Packers had 6. Penalties and first downs. Whew, here we go. Two for the Packers, but 4 for the Lions. Man, thank you. I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? From no pack, no. All right, third down efficiency, 8 for 15 for the Packers, 6 for 11 for the Lions. That's pretty even right there. Right about 50% for both teams. Look like a little over 50% for both teams. Fourth down efficiency, 1 for 4 for the Packers, 0 for 2 for us, but we're going to go for it anyway. You know how we do it. Total plays, 69 to 57 for the Packers. Total yards, 389 yards for the Packers and 254 yards for the Lions. Total drives, both teams had 9. Yards per play, 5.6 for the Packers, 4.5 for the Lions. Passing, 283 yards for the Packers and 137 for the Lions. But we ain't need to pass the ball. Attempts, we had 23 for 43 for Aaron, 23 or 43 for Aaron Rodgers. Man, that is not good. 14 for 26 for Jared Goff. Interceptions thrown. This was the big deal right here. This is probably what won the game for the Lions. 3 picks, 2 in the red zone for the Packers, and 1 interception by Jared Goff without lack of trying, though. Sacks. We got to him one time. Derek Barnes got to Aaron Rodgers one time. No sacks for the Lions. They didn't give up a sack at all. I like that. Rushing yards, 106 for the Packers. It was some tough sledding. 117 for the Lions. Rushing attempts, 25 to 31. Yards per rush, 4.2 for the Packers, 3.8 for the Lions. Red zone. This is where it got a little good for those 2 drives. 0 for 4 for the Packers and 2 for 3 for the Lions. Penalties. Both teams would play a sloppy ass game. 8 penalties for 81 yards for the Packers, 7 for 62 for the Lions. Turnovers, like we said, 3-1 in favor of the Lions. Fumbles lost, 0 for both teams. Interceptions thrown, we already covered that thing. No defensive special teams touchdowns, and the Packers controlled the clock. They had the ball for 34 minutes and 42 seconds, and the Lions had the clock for 25 minutes and 18 seconds. But at the end of the day, it was a dub for the Lions. I mean, it is what it is. I tend to say, right, man, it wasn't the prettiest game. I wouldn't call it a statement game or a get-right game for the Lions. The offense moved the ball, but had plenty of stall drives. Rodgers and the Packers moved the ball up and down the field at will for the most part, but they had some self-inflicted wounds, turning the ball over in the red zone, some opportunistic plays for the Lions defense. And paired that with a ton of injuries for Green Bay. And the Lions had a few injuries themselves. It just turned out to be the perfect storm for the Lions to get that win. I'm more happy that we beat the Packers than we got the win. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this was the game. This was we could turn our season around. It wasn't one of that. It wasn't that type of performance, but it was a hell. We beat the Packers type of win, and I'll take that all day. What you guys got?
I know I'm watching the game. My wife is like, why you yelling? Why you so emotional? Look, if you don't shut the hell up and leave me alone, man. That game was close as hell. I was emotional, man. And you know what? That game was finally a change for the Lions. Finally, calls went against the Packers that don't normally go against the Packers, and went for the Lions that don't normally go for the Lions.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing for me, man, was the calls of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because even some games in Ford Field in the past, them calls, you'd be like, why they like the Packers like that? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it was good, man. It was an evenly called game. I can't argue with none of the calls that was made in that game. And when you can't argue with the calls made in the game, and the game is played how it plays out, you just happy with that, man. I'm just happy that the refs were not in favor of the Packers like yesterday, man. So shout out to the Lions, man, for doing their thing, for hanging in there, fighting tough and not giving up, and biting kneecaps, man. They was getting down and grimy with it.
Yeah, before I kick it to LL, man, I had it. My wife in the third quarter, man, she made me take my blood pressure medicine. I was screaming. I was cussing at the TV, man. She was like, "Boy, you ain't yelling at Cardo. Go take your blood pressure medicine." But hey, what you got, LL?
I was gonna piggyback up what Coach Mike just said, but I forgot.
You was talking about the calls. He said the kind of calls went where it kind of favorable.
I could make a case that they still favored the Packers. It was how many missed delay a game. And some people say, they got it off before or whatever, even when they changed the rule. If you're looking up at the clock, a lot of them was late, even with the looking up and down or whatever the rule is. So it was, I counted at least 4 of them joints. But, good win. I'm just happy with the win.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said, Kurt. It makes it even sweeter, the opponent. You know what I'm saying? That pack, if you want to call it, we're putting that in there today, and that's the best part about all of this. We got a good win, a lot to clean up, but at least it was the goddamn Packers.
Yeah, no pack. And for the one call, a call I thought was egregious was the push. Alan Lazar pushed off on that bomb down the sideline. Man, he just slung. He slung my man Jeff Okudah to the ground, but I digress. Check out the rest of the video if you want to come back and check out the whole thing. I know this is probably the main course, but come back, check out the rest of the video, and you'll get the full slate of what we're doing right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl.